You are watching KAVU 25 News Now weekends at 5:30.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I am Amaya Norman. The strike that has shut down ports from Maine to Texas is over, for now at least. The International Longshoremen's Association reached a tentative agreement with the United States Maritime Alliance until after the new year.
For members of the International Longshoremen's Association, it's a night of celebration.
It feels great knowing that we saved our jobs.
This was a real celebratory moment.
It comes after days of hitting the picket lines.
No contract, no word!
Our crews captured the moment strikers started packing up. After learning the ILA reached a deal with the U.S. Maritime Alliance, both groups reached an agreement on wages. CNN reports it will lead to a 62% increase over a 6-year contract.
Some people are saying, well, the amounts that we're asking for are a lot, but they're not taking into consideration what we're up against. You know, foreign entities taking this money out of our country.
Port workers say the end of the strike is a testament to the importance of their jobs.
A lot of people is affected by our jobs, and our job is a dangerous job.
But also a testament to the strength of their union.
I've been in many strikes in the 60 years I've been here, many strikes. And I knew that as long as we stayed together, we could get our result that we wanted, we could get it. And this proved that today.
Come January, when the deal will expire, workers say they're looking for the same agreement to be finalized. If not,
we would be back out on the picket lines.
Now it's time to talk weather on this Sunday evening. Let's check in with the first Warren Steam Team Chief Meteorologist Trey Mining to see what is the rest of the week will look like. Trey?
Well, on the outside, warm and humid, definitely seeing a few clouds out there. Temperatures on the hot side, 95 degrees here in October, still quite hot. Feel like temperature 97 degrees. The humidity is a little bit lower, 37%, makes it a little bit more tolerable. Also make it feel a little more cooler in the overnight, early morning hours. Temperatures around the region, they're pretty much in the low to mid 90s through 80s along the immediate coast. Sea Drift 84 degrees, 95 in Fortran area, Cuero and Victoria, of course. But the main story, of course, is the hot temperatures with what's happening in the Gulf. Have a hurricane, Milton. Where's it going? We'll take a look at that a little bit later on in the full forecast. Back to you.
A slow recovery continues in Asheville, North Carolina, 10 days after the storm, with extensive destruction and debris remaining. FEMA officials and search and rescue dogs surveyed the River Arts District, where 75 people are still missing. Residents are anxious and seeking more support during this challenging time. The National Guard is flying units daily to assist FEMA and first responders as they provide aid to those affected in the mountains of western North Carolina. With Election Day coming up in less than a month, 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting spoke with a local political commentator. He has the details on the discussion. Trenton?
Thanks, Amaya. Yesterday, I spoke with University of Houston Victoria Professor Woodrow Wilson Wagner III about the state of the election and each candidate's campaigns. Here is just a portion of our conversation. What do you think would be the best target for them to kind of key and focus on until we get to Election Day?
That's such an excellent question. And as you mentioned, there's less than 30 days now left for both of them to make their closing arguments.
Absolutely.
What I think is going to determine the winner is which candidate and which campaign is most able to get their message to resonate with the voters in terms of what the voters actually care about. For instance, the top issue in this election by far is inflation and the economy. Now, a couple of days ago, we saw some really good economic numbers. For instance, in this last month, 250,000 new jobs were created. That is a monumental number and much higher than anybody thought it would be. Unemployment rate also went down to a record low of 4.1%. So on the one hand, that's good for Kamala Harris. But on the other hand, inflation is still an issue. People go buy groceries. They're more than they used to be. People get basic services that they used to get, and it's costing them more. So I think whichever candidate is able to tap into the feelings of the voters. Yes, there might be more jobs created, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it in my pocketbook. That candidate, I think, is going to be most successful. I expect a very close election night. I don't expect a blowout on either side. I think like the previous election, it's probably going to come down to about 70,000 voters in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, perhaps North Carolina, perhaps Georgia. But I think both candidates have a good opportunity to win it. It just depends which can seal the deal and connect their message to what the voters are most feeling right now.
Search Crossroads Today on YouTube to find the full conversation with Mr. Wagner, and make sure to stay informed as we grow closer to Election Day. Amaya, back to you.
Thank you, Trenton. Speaking on the election, the last day to register to vote is tomorrow, October 7th. Our viewers poll for today: have you registered to vote in this year's presidential election? Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to leave your input. Federal lawmakers are sounding the alarm on the economic catastrophe that could happen in the new farm bill isn't passed by the end of this year. Now that the 2018 version has officially expired, to read more on this Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. We're learning about a major security breach affecting major telecommunication companies. Sources tell CNN that suspected Chinese government-linked hackers infiltrated providers like AT&T, Verizon, and Lumen. Investigators believe they aim to access sensitive national security information, including wiretap warrant requests. The extent of this compromised data is still being assessed, raising national security concerns. This breach was recently discovered and affected companies along with the Justice Department and FBI have not committed. U.S. officials brief congressional intelligence committees, with cybersecurity experts from Microsoft and Mandate now involved in the investigation. Communities in Florida are being urged to prepare for a potential Category 3 hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, 10 days after Hurricane Helene made landfall, leaving thousands without power and paving a trail of wreckage. The death toll from Helene continues to climb, and rescues and recovery missions in hard times hit western North Carolina.
It seems like another week, another hurricane.
Floridians are bracing for yet another hurricane as Milton churns in the Gulf. It's expected to intensify into a Category 3 hurricane by late Monday. The storm is projected to make landfall near the Tampa area on Wednesday with 120-mile-per-hour winds. Officials are warning about the threat of storm surge, rain, and flash flooding.
I'd urge Floridians to take this storm very seriously. If you're on the west coast of the Florida Peninsula, you could potentially have major impacts from this storm.
A state of emergency has been declared in 51 of the 67 counties in Florida. Officials are urging residents to make safety plans now and not wait.
It's going to have wind, it can kill you. It's going to have water, it can kill you. So I hope everybody right now starts thinking about what in the living daylights are you going to do?
You cannot wait and see.
Milton is expected to impact areas still cleaning up from Hurricane Helene, which slammed into Florida's Big Bend region as a major Category 4 hurricane. The storm created a 500-mile path of destruction across a number of states. Some in the storm's path are still without power and cleaning up damage. Florida's governor is deploying the National Guard to help assist with debris removal that could cause more damage from forecasted winds. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
While it still feels like summer outside, one local church is putting a taste of fall in the air with their annual outdoor pumpkin patch market. Now in their 32nd year, the grounds outside First United Methodist Church in Victoria are nearly covered with pumpkins of all shapes and sizes. In addition to the pumpkin for sale, other goodies like cookies and other snacks are available. Church members such as Christine Hiller says the pumpkin patch is a great way for the church to give back to the community.
So all the proceeds from the pumpkin patch go right back into our community. We have this ministry for our church supports the local Girl Scouts, the local Boy Scouts, VCAM, Christ Kitchen, Restoration House. So all of the ministry proceeds go right back into our community.
The pumpkin patch will be open every day through the 31st of October. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. and on Sunday, 12 noon until 6 p.m. First United Methodist Church is located at 407 North Bridge Street in downtown Victoria. October 7 marks the one-year anniversary of Hamas' attack on Israel. People worldwide are honoring the 102,000 lives lost, with vigils held Sunday in Tel Aviv, Berlin, London, and Paris. A memorial is planned for Sunday night at the Noah Festival site, attended by families of the victims. Protests took place in cities like Sydney, rallying against the ongoing war in the Middle East and the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Over the past year, Israeli attacks have reportedly killed more than 41,000 people in Gaza, mostly women and children, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, with nearly the entire population displaced. Former President Trump asked his supporters at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania today to hold a moment of silence at 6:11. The sound of a bell then chimed and an Oprah singing song, Ave Maria. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 5:30. Thousands of jobs entered the market in September. But how does it affect inflation? More in a moment.
And take a look at the feel-like temperatures throughout the rest of the evening in the 80s and near 90 degrees, even at 8 in the evening this evening. And with winds coming from the north and northeast, keeping it on the dry side for us. Any rain chances for us? And perhaps more importantly, where is Milton going? We'll take a look coming up.
A TikTok star has been charged with murder in connections to the death of a therapist in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 20-year-old Terrion Thomas is also facing a charge of obstructions of justice. Thomas was named as a person of interest in the case when he was found to be driving a car registered to the victim.
The alerts started coming in on Sunday. The Tangipahoa Sheriff's Department found a man wrapped in a tarp on Highway 51. Then Monday, deputies released his identity. It was 69-year-old William Nicholas Abraham, a therapist in Baton Rouge.
I was visiting with a friend, and my sister called me and said that it was imperative that I call her back, and so I did. And I was pretty much, I guess, in shock.
Family shared with WBRZ what they know about Abraham's last known hours.
And just trying to piece together the last hours of our victim's life.
Abraham's roommate says he left home on Saturday, saying he was going to get his car cleaned and would stop by his office to do paperwork. He told his roommate it would take a couple of hours, but he never came home.
We got, the call just from a passerby Sunday morning, and that was the first time that our deceased hit our radar.
Hours later, deputies shared a blurry security image of a man they say was the last known person to have been seen driving Abraham's car. Overnight, that news and a wave of theories spread on social media. Comments identified this picture as Terrion Thomas or Mr. Prada. Tuesday afternoon, the warrant was issued for Thomas in the Sherwood Forest traffic stop. WBRZ was the first to share the details. The warrant doesn't identify Thomas as a suspect in Abraham's killing. That investigation is being handled by the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office.
Searchers are still trying to locate dozens of people reported missing in the wake of floods in central Bosnia and Herzegovina. Torrential rain led to landslide in the region southwest of the capital of Sarajevo. Reporters say at least 21 people have died. The flood follows a summer of extreme droughts, which has impacted agriculture and water supplies in the Balkans of much of Europe. The U.S. job market added a stunning 254,000 jobs in September. Friday reports from the Bureau of Labor Statistics blew past expectations of 140,000 additional jobs. Unemployment also dipped 4.1%. Investors are hopeful the new data signals a soft landing for the economy. However, they acknowledge that the strong job market could also keep inflation from cooling. The jobs reported comes just weeks after the Federal Reserve decided to cut interest rates by 0.5 percentage point now. New inflation reports are expected this week and could shed light on the Fed's next month. For more on today's news story, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina's Drawn will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can submit a local military hero so we can recognize them.
A few clouds on the outside. Hot temperatures. Feel like temperatures starting at 8 this evening. Still in the mid to upper 80s to near 90 degrees. The heat's going to continue for tomorrow. Any rain chances and what's the latest on Milton? We've got you covered coming up after the break.
Oh. Y'all gonna do.
And good evening, everyone. A lot to talk about weather-wise. Start off with the heat. With the heat index still in the 70s, still quite humid in the early morning hours tomorrow, but a little bit drier air in the mid-upper levels of the atmosphere, causing it to be not quite as oppressive as it could be this time of year, with all the winds from the north and northeast. Feel like temperatures by your day on your Monday will be in the mid to upper 90s. No triple digits expected, so that's definitely a good sign. And look at this Texas weather. High pressure dominates the whole state, giving us a few clouds here and there. Otherwise, nice and sunny conditions. No worries there for us. But all eyes in the Gulf of Mexico, of course, with Milton. More on that here momentarily. A few rain showers with a trough of low pressure in the northwestern Gulf of Mexico, not associated with the storm itself, but a few rain showers out there. Nothing toward the land areas, though. But we took a trip to the south here, and there it is, right there. Milton. There's the latest on Milton. It's now a hurricane, 85-mile-per-hour winds, Category 1. Getting its act together looks very well organized. It's good counterclockwise rotation we see right there. And this is just the beginning. A lot of warm water out here. Hardly no shear in the atmosphere, so that's definitely going to be the ingredients needed for this storm to get very big in a pretty quick amount of time. As you see the forecast track coming through the rest of the evening. Category 1, Category 2 by tomorrow. 3, 4 might be a possibility in the eastern Gulf of Mexico before it makes its way toward the central Florida coast. Somewhere in between Cedar Key, Sanibel Island, Tampa, St. Petersburg area could be the impact area. This will be a very devastating storm, I'm afraid, and keep in mind that it'll continue to work inland for Orlando, maybe Walt Disney World, and areas near St. Augustine could also see some pretty significant damage with this storm as it makes its way on through. So we need to be in prayer for those folks there as the storm gets closer to us. Of course, it looks like landfall will be probably on a Wednesday or so, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the western Florida coast. But for us here, keeping it on the dry side, northerly winds around the storm, keeping our atmosphere quiet and sunny for the time being. So let's bring it on home for you. Well, sunny skies again for you today tomorrow. No worries out there. Hot temperatures in the 90s, of course, for the daytime high. By 12 noon to about 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock. Port Lavaca, sunny skies, nice and sunny conditions, of course. No rain. We should get some rain in here, but not really happening anytime real soon, at least. With northerly winds, with these northeasterly winds by the afternoon. And then for Victoria, sunny skies, highs in the 90s again, nice and sunny conditions, but a little bit on the dry side, so be careful out there. Feeling pleasant in the morning, yes, but downright hot in the afternoon. Wish I could put some rain in here, but I can't. It looks like it's going to be on the dry side for the next several days. Highs in the 90s and lows in the 60s coming up, especially by midweek. The low 60s feeling nice in the morning times, but hot in the afternoons. Don't have to worry about Milton not headed our way, but just to keep in mind that the heat index values will be just near 100 degrees in the afternoons, and be careful regardless, because it's still going to have that heat aspect to the atmosphere around here. Otherwise, looking pretty good, sunny and hot for the next several days. Lows in the 60s again for the nice cool mornings coming up for the next several mornings. Take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. Get your smartphone. I know you got one. Scan the code you see right there. That'll take you to a webpage. You can download our Crossroads Today app and sign up for news reports, weather, and all sports and information, all you need right here on the Crossroads. Very easy, convenient. Have it on your phone, and it's free of charge to be connected with us. We got Ray in the house with sports.
Thank you, Trey. History was made for the Tidehaven Tigers. Find out what type of milestone was reached for the volleyball team in sports. In a Friday afternoon volleyball matchup that saw the Industrial Cobras go against the Tidehaven Tigers, we witnessed some school history. Tidehaven's Mary Johnson recorded her 500th season kill, an impressive feat that was just as, if not more impressive, to see live. In the second series of the matchup, Mary Johnson recorded her 500th kill this season. Johnson has put herself in a position where a feat like this was reachable for her. Johnson currently is the team leader with 5.6 kills a game. With the team averaging 11.8 kills a set, this makes Johnson responsible for close to 50% of kills in each set. This feat was always a goal of hers, and once it was reached, it was yet a surprise to her.
It feels good, 500 for this season. I wasn't expecting it, but I was expecting to see the sign, but I wasn't expecting them to be that loud about it, to be honest. I actually wasn't paying attention to it, and I looked over there, and I thought I still had like 3 more, but surprise.
Johnson didn't let yesterday's loss discourage her. She and her team both understands what this season means going forth.
We know that this is a very, very possible year that we can go to playoffs. Other years have been hard, but this year we've proven ourselves preseason, and we've proven ourselves in many district games that we have won. So it's just our practices and talking to each other. We know we have the chance to go somewhere this season.
Head coach Cynthia Clark's trust in Mary was very visible. Along with her great play, Johnson is also a great leader for the team.
Having a player like Mary is like having a coach on the court. because she knows the game. She knows the ins and outs of the game. She helps her other players, especially the younger ones. She mentored them. She is just an all-around player.
You can expect to see them in action hosting another Crossroads team in Hollisville on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Yesterday was a game full of upsets for college football, and Texas A&M looked to kick things off early on, beginning their SEC play against Missouri. Aggies taking control early on, going into halftime with 0.24. And check this out. This was a punt with that fell in favor for the Aggies. They close out the first half of the Aggies, a mere flawless first half for them. A&M becoming the better running team. Le'Veon Moss becoming the leading rusher with 138 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns and 12 carries. Aggies won the game. Final score, 41-10. Wrapping things up with some NFL news, the Texans played early today, taking on the Buffalo Bills. Texas running back, let's try this, Dare Ogunbowale, I think I got it right, off to a good run, finishing third in this team with rushing yards of 57 total. The rushing action continued in favor for the Texans early on in the game. Great blocking on the edge, and Cam Akers cuts to the outside, and he's running it in for a Texan touchdown. C.J. Stroud also had a good game in his own as well. He threw close to 200 yards. He threw to Nico Collins in this play here, and they hold him off in the fourth quarter, winning the game. Final score, 23-20. And that does it for your sports. Amaya?
Thank you, Ray. Stay with us. Coming up, a fast food chain is bringing a popular cartoon to real life with a new promotion. SpongeBob fans can soon enjoy a real-life Krabby Patty in celebration of the 25th anniversary of SpongeBob SquarePants. Wendy's is introducing special menu items, including the Krabby Patty Collab cheeseburger with an extra cheese and a secret sauce, and a pineapple under the sea frosty, a vanilla milkshake swirl with a pineapple and mango pear. Wendy's highlights that teaming up with one of the pop culture most icon shows makes sense of for their signature square patties. Other fast food chains like McDonald's are also leveraging pop cultures to boost businesses, recently collaborating with an animation studio for new content.
Rev up those fryers.
I guess I'm hungry. So we talking about Krabby Patty. What's going on with the weather, Trey?
Let's see. Well, like the Krabby Patty and the temperatures are both hot.
Oh, yeah.
coming up for us here. Highs in the 90s next several days. Don't have to worry about Milton for us. It's going to be a problem for Florida, though. We feel for those folks. Lows in 60s, so cool feel in the morning time, hot during the day, and sunny conditions to take us through all week.
The weather is sure warm this week, huh?
It sure is.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and have a great week.